Hi, I'm Matt Pierce, host of The Forge. I'm here with very special guest and co-host Brian Bennett.
Hi, I'm Brian Bennett, and I am the host of TechSmith Education's Chalkstar to Rockstar podcast.
And without our technical difficulties, just so you know, all good things come to those who wait. So hold on, sit back. We're on live for real this time with The Forge. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We got a really big day today because TechSmith has released a lot of stuff. But a couple things I want to remind you about is Screenchamp Awards. Hey, our nominees, they're out on our YouTube channel. Go like them. That's a vote for them. The winner is going to win some sweet prizes. Our award show is on December 11th at 1 p.m. So check it out then. We got our special guest judges coming in, and we're going to have a good time telling you about some great videos. Really up the ante this year, so way to go, guys. I want to introduce another special guest with Brian and myself today. This is Justin Welsh. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
And Justin has been working on one of these things that TechSmith has announced today. Why don't we have you tell us a little bit about what it is, because it's pretty sweet.
Okay, so we've been working on this mobile app. It's called TechSmith Fuse, and this is available on iOS and Android. And basically, it allows you to take real-world content, so images or videos that you shoot on your mobile device, and then send them directly into Snagit or Camtasia, both on Windows and Mac.
So, okay, so Justin, that sounds like magic fairyland, right? Like, so tell us a little bit about why do we think this app is something that folks need?
Well, you know, we're all carrying around these mobile devices. Most of them have really great cameras. They're, you know, with us all the time. So if something interesting happens, you know, there's always a camera available. So, you know, just leveraging that technology. And then, you know, if you think about the steps that it takes to get an image or a video from your mobile device into Snagit or Camtasia, with something like Dropbox or email, there's quite a lot of steps. You have to, you know, create accounts, install software, things like that, and it takes a while. And generally, you're sending it to the cloud and then back down to your desktop. So with Fuse, you know, we sort of skip the middleman there, and you send it directly over your Wi-Fi from your mobile device to your desktop.
So I want to make sure I clarify here because. I think that's a big point you just made. So there is no third-party cloud application piece to it at this point. It's just device to device.
Yep. It utilizes your local Wi-Fi, and so that is both quick because you're not having to go up to the cloud and back, and secure because it's within your local network.
Yeah, I want to say, so anyone that watches The Forge with any kind of regularity, they might have seen our episode we just shot with the iPhone 5S. And I have to say, you guys, major kudos to the team, because I don't feel like I could have made that episode using only my phone if it wasn't for Fuse. I use that all on the back end to, you know, I take a picture, take a video, transfer it, put it in Camtasia for Mac, and it saved me, I want to say hours of effort and time to have to do that. So. Major kudos to you guys for doing this.
Yeah, Justin, I want to jump in. You know, obviously I work with the education side a lot more. Now, one thing that teachers want to be able to do is have their students, you know, grab that content and then share it. So am I limited to just one device? So is it only my phone that would work with Camtasia?
No, Camtasia or Snagit, any of them can accept connections from multiple devices. So in your scenario with the teacher in her class, you know, if the class has iPads or whatever, they could you know, video themselves talking about a subject or whatever, and then transmit it to the teacher's Camtasia, and she could edit them together and, you know, produce a video that way.
Now, are there any tech limitations? Do I have to be on a certain version of iOS or Android?
Yep, there's a few technical limitations. So for Android, we support version 2.3 and above. And for iOS, it's 7 and above. Now, as far as the actual network is concerned, it has to be configured a certain way. basically devices have to be able to talk to one another, which isn't always, especially on more secure networks, that's not always set up that way. But in general, like if you're talking about a router or something, a consumer grade router or something like that, it should work just fine.
And we'll show a quick video here in a second, but I want to say, you mentioned the speed earlier. I've been really impressed how quick it is. In fact, we were making videos to show this process off, and we had to find abnormally large images and videos to be able to capture that process because it was just so quick.
Yep.
I guess, are there other, and maybe there's not, but I'm curious, are there other limitations or things that people should be aware of when they're using the app or trying it, that if they, things that they might run into or problems, like if it's not working, check their Wi-Fi network for the right settings. Anything else that they should be aware of?
Well, just to make sure that they are connected to Wi-Fi is probably the biggest one. It will actually tell you, like if you try to send it over your cellular connection, it will warn you and say that's not, will not work, even though it won't prevent you from doing it. Large videos can be, just because of the size of them, there can be issues with dropping packets or something like that over the network. But other than that, there's really not, it's pretty simple, and we did it on purpose, so there's not a lot of areas for problems.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I do a lot of customer demos. I go and I talk with conferences and people at shows, and it's great to be able to pull out my phone and scan a QR code on Camtasia, and boom, it's there. And the speed is really what amazes most people, and just the simplicity. And I select a picture and choose where I want to send it, and it goes.
So why don't we, before we get too much further in this conversation, maybe we can have our video guys run our, this is a video that they created to show off some of the use cases of Fuse. So let's go ahead and cut to that if we can.
Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about the new phone system. I thought I'd make a quick video to show you how to do a couple of basic things.
Hi everyone, my presentation today is about my recent trip to the zoo. Did you know tigers can grow up to be 11 feet long?
Hey Sam, I took some photos of your store on my phone and I added a few notes about some designs I think will work really well. Take a look and let me know what you think.
At TechSmith, we're committed to helping you be successful in whatever you do. And with our mobile app, we're helping you be successful wherever you go. Fuse combines the convenience of mobile shooting with the power of desktop editing to help make what you do easier. Transfer photos and videos from your mobile device to Camtasia or Snagit, where you can edit and share. Download Fuse for iOS or Android to get started.
So just a couple use cases there. We actually had a question come in, a technical question that we want to make sure gets asked and answered. Is there was a question about bonjour on on your network? Does that need to be in place?
Nope. That does not need to be on. It functions without that. It basically just uses standard networking protocols to send data across the Wi-Fi. So no special setup.
I just heard magic. That
too.
uses magic, and it's amazing. So again, I guess as we get close to wrapping up here, again, kudos to the team. It's amazing to see what brilliant people can put together when you give them a little an opportunity, and I know it's already been integrated into my workflow, so it's fantastic. Final question, kind of more about use cases. When you're going through this process, it's got to be hard to think about, like, I'm developing this. You must be thinking about who's it for. Is there one or two kind of groups that you just had in mind, like this? We hope this really makes a difference for them.
Yep. One we already brought up was the classroom teacher scenario, and we did have some talk about, like, well, do we allow simultaneous connections to the server? And that was a big reason why we allowed that. Even going to the extra work to make that happen was to allow classrooms to collaborate like that. The other use case that sticks out in my mind that I always that I could sort of think about was we were talking about house inspectors, and you can imagine he's the clients hire him to go check out a house, and he's walking around taking pictures of various problems and things that he sees, and then with just not a point and shoot, just his smartphone, and then he gets back to the office and he can upload those pictures right to Snagit, and then crop them, maybe put it in some annotations, put them into a nice Word document or something like that, print it off and give it to his clients.
Or I'd even love a video, right? Of, hey, this is what's wrong. Here's what you're going to need to do to probably
See the
get
water
it fixed.
dripping. Yes.
Don't buy this house, or that's an easy fix. So, well, again, thank you to you, Justin, for leading these efforts, and thanks to all of the developers and the UX and all the people that go into making such a great app. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, go out to the iOS App Store or to the Android Google Play Store, and you can download Fuse for yourself and give it a try. You will need to make sure you update your version of Camtasia and Snagit, which also released today, so that you can get the connection. And then I think you could see in the video, there's a link under File, goes about Connect Mobile Device, and then there's a little QR code you scan with your phone with the Fuse app, and it connects, and boom, it is done. So it's pretty slick. We've got lots of other tutorial videos out there you can check out on our website or on our YouTube channel to show you exactly through that process, but we'll spare you those details right now. So thanks again, Justin, for being with us. Hey, Brian, you want to introduce us to this next segment?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm the host of the Chalkstar to Rockstar podcast done through TechSmith Education, but lately, over the last few months, I've been working on the TechSmith Snagit for Google Chrome team. And there's a lot that ties into this, but really what we've been hearing from people is that we need a TechSmith extension on Chrome. So last August, we got a team together, and today we are releasing TechSmith Snagit for Google Chrome through the Chrome Web Store. And you get some of those tools that you love in Snagit, and we are tying directly to Google Drive. And what we're going to do, instead of rehashing an entire hangout that we did a few weeks ago showing it, I did an interview with Brett Clark, who is the Director of Technology for Clark County Schools down in Southern Indiana. So we're going to go ahead and run that interview, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more Q&A specifically about Snagit for Chrome. Hey everybody, welcome to this interview. We've got Brett Clark on the call today. Brett, why don't you go ahead and give yourself an introduction, and then we will jump right into talking about TechSmith Snagit for Chrome.
All right, I am Brett Clark. I'm the Director of Technology for Greater Clark County Schools in Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Okay, so Brett, you and I have known each other for a couple years now. You were an e-learning coach in Evansville, where I was a teacher. So what does your Director of Technology position mean? What do you actually do for the district now?
So I help our district make decisions on what technology is being used in the classroom. I also help lead the professional development side of things so that technology is being used properly by our teachers, our students, and our faculty. And so my main focus is helping our schools, leverage technology for learning.
And you guys have recently gone Google Apps for Education, correct?
Yes, we've gone Google Apps Education. We started doing that, made the transition last spring, and then this year we are one-to-one with Chromebooks in grades 3 through 12.
So can you talk a little bit about why you decided on Google Apps and Chromebooks?
Yeah, and so for us, really the decision was Google Apps first. When we made the decision that we wanted to have the collaboration power behind Google and the all the workflow that works so well within inside Google Apps for Education, that was our main thing. That anything that we did was going to revolve around our use of Google Apps for Education, and then also our learning management system, My Big Campus, through Lightspeed. And so when we really were more platform driven, and so once we decided on those platforms, and those platforms really work well in any device, so then it became a matter of what device can we go with and make the biggest impact, which led us to the Chromebook. So that allowed us to make the biggest impact in our districts and to help integrate those platforms into the lives of our students faster.
And you've been using TechSmith products specifically for a while now, and you were actually part of our TechSmith Snagit for Chrome advisory group. So you want to talk a little bit about what we had you guys do during that?
With the part of the advisory group, we got a chance to test out Snagit and in the Chrome extension, and so we I used it for to create a couple of snapshots, shared it out with some people in my some of the e-learning coaches that I have work under me, and we did some surveys to give you guys feedback on how it works, and then just kind of helped you think of the different ways that a Snagit extension inside Chrome could really benefit our students and our teachers.
Yeah, so one of the big things we focused on while we were developing was making sure it worked seamlessly with Drive. And a lot of that came from feedback that we got from you guys in the advisory group. So how is that going to help your students and your staff?
Well, Drive is such an easy part of our workflow now. Teachers share information with students. Students turn in work in through Drive. They share work with each other through Google Drive. And so for us, the ability to take a snapshot and then not have to then take it and attach it to an email or take it and upload it into Drive ourselves, it just cut that step down for us. And so that was a real big part of allowing our students to have a workflow that made sense, where we weren't adding a whole bunch of extra steps to this.
Mm-hmm. And now you're a dreamer. You're always looking up new ways to do new things with tech. So this is live today. Today we launched it out. And so what are some things you're going to hope to see from your students and your staff as you as they start to pick up Snagit for Chrome?
Well, so I really envision my students, taking this and using it to dissect a picture, where maybe they've uploaded something onto a website, and they've snapped a picture, and then instead of having to be able to just explain everything on the picture orally, maybe we have a student who doesn't that's not their learning style. They don't do well with oral presentations, and so this allows them to then take a snapshot, be able to then add the information that they want to. And so you're giving a student another option, so they can prove that they know what you want them to know as a teacher, but now they're able to present it in a way that maybe fits more their learning style. So, and I also see our students. We have a lot of schools that are using students to evaluate websites and web tools for their schools, and so I can see our students find a website, take a snapshot of it, and point out, well, here's why we like, here's this part of this website, here's why we like it, and then really be able to then submit that, so that when they submit it to our department for approval to have it unblocked or to have it added to our Greater Clark Chrome store that we've developed, then they can give us a full explanation and really dissect what it is that they're wanting us to unblock, or why they're wanting us to add it to their Chromebooks and stuff.
That's great. So you think it'll help them just become a bigger part of the Clark County culture?
Yeah, we're always trying to find ways to give students a chance to share their voice, and it's difficult sometimes now when a student says, I really think we should use this in our classroom, and they are explaining to it, but to have them to be able to pull in that visual cue for us and have that visual part of the presentation, it really, I think, is going to just add another layer to them, and it's really, they're going to have to help them really choose what's important. When you go take a screenshot of something, you're really making a decision. Okay, do I need to take a screenshot of the whole website? They take a screenshot of just a small portion, and so you're doing a lot of things. You're helping students really focus on, what's that important information. So in the same way that we as a former math teacher would teach them how to read through a word problem and pick out the important information, when you go to do a screenshot, you're doing essentially the same thing, but just visually. So you're helping that skill set of them saying, okay, here's this screenshot, and now I'm going to highlight what the important information is, or maybe I only take a screenshot of a small portion of it. So it's a good skill for them to have.
All right. Well, thanks for taking some time today to talk with us. And thank you so much for your help as we develop this. We're excited to get it out to everybody.
It's a great product, and my teachers and students are looking forward to using it.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett.
All right, thanks to Brett Clark and Brian for the interview. So Brian, you mentioned we should do a few Q&A for Chrome. So
yeah, so I've been kind of watching the social stream, so I don't know if any more have come in. But a big thing people want to know is, will this work in my Google Apps account? And yes, as long as you have a Google account, whether that's a personal Gmail address or you're part of a Google Apps system in a school, then it's going to work for you. We designed it to make it easy to distribute and deploy. The other great thing is that this syncs automatically with your Google Drive. And we did this on purpose because there's a lot of screen capture apps out there already, but none of them automatically tie back into your Drive account. So you have to manually do that. And for teachers, and that's who we were focusing on, that can be a problem with students. So to solve that, anytime you take a capture, anytime you make an annotation, Drive will automatically save that file in a special TechSmith folder for you. So there's no more, closing your computer and forgetting to make that last save, before you submit it. So we're trying to eliminate the clicks that it takes to accomplish tasks and make it very simple for teachers and students to create content and then collaborate it around it in the Drive ecosystem.
And the other thing and probably we'll just mention here and take what we get is that if you don't have a Chromebook, right, it just works with your Chrome browser, so that's a nice little benefit to give it a try, see how it works.
Yep.
And then, of course, the benefit with the Chromebook is especially if you're an educator, which you were talking to, is all the administrative stuff on the back end just makes it so easy.
Exactly. It really is. You push a button. If you're one of those IT people who's managing, thousands of devices, you push a button and it distributes out to your students and your staff. Again, trying to make it as easy as possible for people to create. There's no more worrying about versioning. There's no more worrying about, is Windows XP supported on this? We're trying to get rid of all of that. So as long as Chrome is up to date, then it's going to work for you.
Absolutely. So Brian, but we're not done. We've got the Fuse mobile app. We've got the Chrome Snagit for the Chrome, right, for Google Chrome. But there's more. We actually went ahead and integrated Google Drive into Camtasia and Snagit. So again, I imagine this is going to be big with educators, but also we hope with others that are using Google Drive.
Exactly. Yeah, I know in my daily workflow, Google Drive is a huge part of how I manage documents and media because it's everywhere, right? If I'm on my home computer, I can leave it here and then log into my Drive account at the library or at the coffee shop on a different computer, and everything is there. So TechSmith as a whole is trying to make sure that any content creator can get to their content easily from any platform. We want to make it so that you don't have to worry about where you're working on something. So Snagit for Chrome does that automatically for you, but Camtasia and Snagit also now, with the update today, have both an import and an export for Google Drive.
Yeah, to me it's pretty fantastic. There are a couple things I think of, Brian, and I don't know for educators what exactly you think might be the key feature, but I love this, let's just be honest, sharing has always been difficult. Finding a place to, you got to put it on YouTube, but if you don't want it on YouTube or your organization doesn't allow YouTube, it blocks it, it's tough. Or if you could always use screencast.com, and that's a great option, except for when it's not, and that's not what you need or it's not going to work. To me, that's having another place to share just makes life so much easier because depending on the audience I'm talking about, that's going to be a perfect destination for some of them.
Exactly. And Google Drive is becoming more and more ubiquitous, right? For Google Apps alone, there's between 25 and 30 million individual Google Apps users. So that's just the business and the education side. At the same time, how many of us have a personal Drive account that we share content from? And it's great to do with documents and all the baked in Google stuff, but there hadn't been a really easy way to do that with one click, and that's the big thing. Simple sharing. And that's again, it ties in with what TechSmith is trying to do now with our new focus, with our new vision, and not only giving you easy ways to create that content, but get it out to your audience and then collaborate around it. You can open up any video in Drive and use their inline commenting. And the great thing about pictures is you can even select certain areas of a picture to highlight. So, with Snagit for Chrome kind of leading into this, you can do that within the app. You can do that within Snagit. But now even with Drive, once you upload it, your audience, your students, your clients, whoever's looking at it, can comment on specific portions of that media. So we're really trying to leverage a lot of the tools that Google gives us all to make your TechSmith experience much more well-rounded, much more powerful.
Well, I think it's worth saying that and I've got Troy Stein here in the room, so he can correct me on any of the details. But I think that it says something to where TechSmith is trying to go. We want to be your experience around this visual media to be much more collaborative, much more engaging, because we know that oftentimes it's a lot like this broadcast. Even though we have a chat, right? It's one way, and broadcast has a lot of unique value propositions to it. But on the same hand, there's something about having a conversation. I know some of my most kind of fulfilling conversations I've had with work things have actually been at a table with Troy Stein drawing on the tablecloth. He used crayons on the tablecloth. It was not a pretty picture, but no, seriously though. But that's when we had that opportunity to be visual yet have this collaboration back and forth. And and there's been times when he's really, and I don't even remember what some of the conversation was, but I remember him pushing me and saying, well, why'd you think that? And not because he wants to be mean, but because pushing that way makes a whole world of difference in communication. So I hope as you go out and try, our audience go out and try, download the new Camtasia, new Snagit. Both platforms, Mac and PC, will have this Drive integration, and start seeing what Drive is for more than just a place to store documentation, but it's a creation place as well as a collaboration space where now TechSmith has an opportunity to help you out with that communication process.
Exactly. Now, Matt, if I'm not a Camtasia customer and I just happen to see this video, what can I do? Can I try it out?
That's a great question, Brian. Like you just softball, hit it out there, put it in the air. So yeah, absolutely. A 30-day trial still applies for the Snagit and Camtasia trials. So, or actually, a little bit different trial model going on there. But still, go out and try. You get the free trial. Go download it, give it a shot, see if it works for you, integrate it. If it works, that's fantastic. If not, let us know. You can always give us feedback we have a site called feedback.techsmith.com. I know the teams are dying to hear what people think of these, all three things that we've talked about today.
Exactly. With Snagit for Chrome, we had a big beta group. We had about 500 people in this group who had signed up, and they've already started leaving us feedback on that new product. But I know that the Camtasia and Snagit teams are very anxious to hear about how the new Drive integration is working for you. We're always looking for use cases. We want to be able to tell stories about how people are using our products to solve problems. So if you're one of those people who is solving a problem, please head over to feedback.techsmith.com and leave us a little note.
And so let's wrap things up here. So before we go, don't forget December 11th, the Forge is back with the Screenchamp Award show. We're going to announce who the winners are, and they're going to win their awesome prizes. Also, you're probably watching this video on YouTube, so go ahead, click the subscribe button. We would appreciate it. Help never miss another great piece of content. As you'll notice today, we put out a bunch of new videos all talking about the new content, Fuse, and the Drive integration and Snagit for Chrome. So go ahead and click subscribe. We'd sure appreciate it. And Brian, how can they find you and listen to your stuff?
Yeah, so if you're not an educator, you probably haven't heard about it, but TechSmith has a new education-centered podcast that goes out every Wednesday, and it's called Chalkstar to Rockstar, and we're partnering with the EdReach Network. So to find our show, you can go to iTunes and type in Chalkstar to Rockstar, and you can subscribe there if you're an iTunes person, or if you just want to check it out on the web and see kind of what it's about, if you go to edreach.us/channel/TechSmith, and we'll have a link in the video description below, so you can find that. It's an audio podcast every week. A lot of people download it, listen to it in their car, and we tell stories. So I track down educators who are using technology in really interesting ways, and we hear from them about how it's changed their practice and changed the way they think about using technology in the classroom specifically. But deep stories, great conversations every Wednesday. And again, the link is in the video description, and you can subscribe there as well.
Absolutely. So I think that's it for the show today. We want to thank our guest, Justin Welch. Brian, thanks for co-hosting with me. We'll have to do this again.
Thank you, Matt. I'll have to get you on the audio next time.
Absolutely. Let's do it. So we're again back December 11th. And thanks for watching, everybody. There's also going to be a rebroadcast in a couple days. So if you missed this, you're watching the video. Too bad. But we're out. So thanks.